What up, my many bulls? It's Chef Big Whisk here today, and today I'm making some excellent high altitude lemon cupcakes for you guys. And with that, I'm gonna have a nice, very delicious buttercream frosting with strawberry and rose for you guys today. So if you guys are excited to get this recipe and have some of these cupcakes, hit that like and subscribe button down in the bottom corner, or that bottom corner, maybe both bottom corners, I don't know yet, but let's get into this. Alright guys, so my many bulls need to know what we're going to be using today for this great recipe, and I think it's important to start with the fruit for that. So obviously I have some nice fresh strawberries from hand-picked at Safeway. Absolutely delightful. I always love going there for my fresh produce. Some of those strawberries I'm going to be cutting down and breaking up and turning into a little bit of syrup for the buttercream frosting on this today. And some of those strawberries I'm going to be saving for a little bit of garnish at the end, but I guess we'll see how that goes later. Next up, we have some fresh lemons as well. These are going to be really important for, obviously, the lemon cupcake. If you guys like lemon cupcakes, hit that like and subscribe real quick. I gotta give a shout out to some of my biggest supporters in the Big Whisk community. Shout out this dude named Patrick. I know he wants me to talk about hitting that like and subscribe button, so let's keep it moving. All right. Next up, I have 3 eggs here today. 2 of which are gonna be whole, and 1 of which we're just going to use the whites of the cupcakes. That's a very important thing. We have some sugar, some cake flour, some oil, lemon extract, vanilla extract, imitation vanilla extract straight from the beaver's butthole. I made it myself. You know what we do in Big Whisk Industry Corporation. We gotta keep it real. A couple important things to note as well is obviously the cupcake pans and the cupcake wrappers for that. Have a nice little pink, nice little yellow, nice little disparity on that one. Alright guys, so with that, one of the key components of making a buttercream frosting is powdered sugar, of course. So I got a nice little big packet of that for this today. It's gonna be great. And of course, all of my butter I'm gonna need for this as well. Great. In terms of using utensils, I've got some measuring cups, I've got some tablespoons and teaspoons, my sweet little paring knife, a microplane, and of course, you gotta keep that whisk on. You know what it is. It's gonna be a great time. I also failed to mention that I have sour cream and already pre-did rose syrup, but I also got some salt prepped over here and a sifter and my KitchenAid mixer, of course. Alright guys, we're gonna start by juicing some of these lemons real quick. Turns out I don't have a juicer in this place, so if you're like Chef Big Whisk and you don't have a juicer in your apartment, I'm gonna ask you guys to hit that like and subscribe button. We're just Alright guys, so I just finished juicing a whole lemon to get a 1/4 of a cup of lemon juice for you guys today. And the purpose of doing that is we're going to be combining it with 1/2 cup of whole milk for you guys. And in the process of doing this, we're trying to look and make sure that we're getting a nice little curdle while we finish mixing the rest of the ingredients. I'm just mixing that lemon juice in there nice and quick. And we're pretty much making butter. But, you know, Chef Big Whisk gotta do it with lemon juice and the whole milk. Like an absolute boss, you know. Where there's a whisk, there's a way. Merch link in the description. Next up, I'm gonna reserve some of this lemon zest from these other lemons just ahead of time so I can save them as a garnish for later so they're nice and dry, and so that some of these I can put directly into the sugar mixture, which we're gonna be doing next. So right now, we're gonna start by just using that microplane and getting some nice fresh lemon zest onto a plate for it so that I can just hold it off to the side for a moment. finished zesting up 2 lemons for you guys today. And what we're going to be doing next is we're going to be making that lemon sugar mixture that I talked about before. So because this is 2 lemons and it's really only supposed to be 1 lemon mixed with all of this sugar, I'm going to reserve half of this in the process. But what's going to happen is you're going to take a full cup of granulated sugar and you're going to put that in the mixing bowl, nice like and easy like that. And then we're going to take half of this lemon zest. And what we're going to do with this next is we're going to throw this straight onto the mixer with the mixing attachment. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to get that lemon oil to infuse into the sugar and kind of rub out a bit. So we're going to get that going real quick and we're going to have that nice and ready. Alright, next up for you guys, Big Whisk is coming at you with the next step in this recipe. What's going to happen is I'm going to take 1 3/4 cup of this cake flour here and I'm going to combine that with 1 1/4 teaspoons of baking powder and a pinch of salt, and we're going to combine those and dust them straight into our mixture with all of that nice lemon sugar. You can see in the lemon sugar it's nice and mixed up. We got a little bit of that color into that sugar, and we got a nice little zesty flavor going for you. So I'm going to start real quick with this cake flour. Oh my god. We're gonna add that baking powder next for you guys, straight into there. And then we're gonna take a nice little pinch of salt. We're gonna throw that right on top as well. And what we're doing right now is we're just trying to get everything nice and mixed up. We're trying to get a little bit aerated with the sifter. And so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take this, we're gonna mix it up a bit, and we're gonna throw it back on with the handy little mixer for us. And I know some of you guys are out there right now going, Big Whisk, use the Big Whisk. And to that I say, alright guys, so we're just gonna throw that on low, we're just gonna get everything nice and mixed together real quick. Alright guys, so
You're still good.
Next up, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be breaking down these eggs real quick. So 2 of these eggs we're going to keep whole for you, and then 1 of these we're just going to use the white for. And sadly, I'm going to discard the yolk because I don't have the purpose for it, which is kind of sad. But while I'm doing this, I think it's important that I explain to you guys the purpose of why we use. Oh yeah. The reason that we use cake flour instead of all-purpose flour for this, the cake flour itself has a. That was hot. The cake flour itself has a naturally lower protein content than the all-purpose flour, which ranges somewhere between 7 to 9% typically for the cake flour, as opposed to the traditional 10 to 12 for all-purpose flour. And because of that, it's going to have a little bit more of a lighter, more airy, a little bit more delicate texture to it that will really look more of these high-altitude cupcakes. Alright, mini bowls, here's what's happening next. Now that I have those eggs all laid out for you guys, I'm going to make sure I'm getting you guys all the action on getting this wet mixture of ingredients all together. So what we're going to do is we're going to take those 2 whole eggs and the egg white, we're going to put those in a bowl real quick. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of sour cream as well. We're going to take a 1/4 cup of vegetable oil, and we're going to take a nice little splash of vanilla. We're going to do a little bit more vanilla since it's imitation. Got to get all that beaver flavor into this. We're going to take a nice little small splash of lemon extract as well. And before I start mixing this all together, I gotta let you guys know that I forgot the most important ingredient, the melted butter. Alright guys, I'm taking you on this little personal journey. We're getting this butter action all set up. We're gonna be microwaving it just to melt that butter real quick, and make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and stay up to date with the Big Whisk, Big Bowls community. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take all these ingredients, we're gonna get them all in this nice little bowl, and we're just gonna give it a nice little mix. And yeah, we're bringing out the Big Whisk for this one. You're just gonna try and get it to a nice little consistency. The sour cream takes a little while to break down, but eventually you'll get to this point where you start to see everything homogenize. Big word right there, there's a nice little word of the day. But you'll get this nice little homogeneous mixture. And what I'm gonna do next now is I'm gonna take this nice little homogenized, creamy little mixture I got. I'm gonna add it to these dry ingredients, and then I'm gonna throw the milk in there as well. That has now been a little bit curdled for you guys as well. You can see it's definitely thickened up. It's got a nice little top to it. We're putting the whole thing in there, and we're gonna start to see this nice little cupcake mixture come together. We're taking these wet ingredients and we're just gonna start mixing those all up real quick. I'm gonna set this down, lock it into place, get it going on a nice low speed, and we're gonna get that nice little pour going. I'm gonna make sure, we take that with a little scrape. Doesn't have to be perfect. And we're gonna take this nice little curdled milk mixture as well. We're gonna get that all nice in there. And we're going to turn up that speed a little bit on the good old KitchenAid real quick. And we're going to watch that come together. If you love KitchenAid mixers as much as I do, hit that like and subscribe button, guys. Hit that little bell notification to make sure you get updated with all the Big Whisk content coming to you guys. So now that we have this strawberry syrup cooked down, it's a little bit on that liquidy side still, but that's fine because we're going to be mixing it in with a ton of this powdered sugar. What we're going to do is we're going to take this nice little mesh strainer and we're going to pour this over it so that we can get all those nice little chunks out of this. We can press those down with a spoon and we can get all that good, nice, delicious strawberry syrup straight into the container to use after. So we're going to start with this buttercream frosting by cutting up the butter just a little bit into some smaller pieces so that they break down easier when we throw them in to be whisked into a nice little frothy consistency. It doesn't have to be perfect, of course, it's gonna get broken down anyways, but we're gonna get all these nice little butter cubes in there, these solid room temperature butter cubes. We're doing about 1.5 cups of those today. We're gonna do those with 1.5 teaspoons of strawberry syrup and strawberry syrup, and we're gonna do about 1 teaspoon of the rose. The reason we're doing a little bit less of the rose is we want more of that predominantly strong strawberry flavor to shine through, and we just want a little note of the floralness to help. Of course, this should have been cooked down a little bit more. That's okay. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be nice and delicious anyways. And of course, if we come back to this and we think it needs a little bit more syrup, ain't nothing wrong with adding a little bit more. So we're gonna get this going in just 1 second. Good. All right, so we just took these out of the oven, just tested them with a toothpick. They're already nice and done all the way through. And these are just gonna sit out. We're gonna let these rest in the container and then rest at room temperature just so that heat doesn't melt our frosting once we start to get it going. So, all right, many bowls. I got that butter into this mixer real quick with that syrup, and we're just gonna let it go for a little bit on a nice little high speed. We're trying to break it all up, get it nice all mixed together. And what we're gonna do in a minute with this whisk attachment, yeah, whisk attachment, woo! We're gonna start to pour some of this powdered sugar in a minute, and our whole goal is just to get a nice frosting consistency. So these powdered sugar bags that you can get at Safeway are right around 4 cups of powdered sugar in each one. We're gonna need about 3 1/4 for this frosting mixture. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna lock this into place and we're gonna slowly pour this in while it's still going. Might make it a little bit of a mess, but it'll help get everything to mix together smoother for me. So we're gonna get a nice little medium pace for that, slow to medium pace. And we're just gonna slowly pour in some powdered sugar, just bit by bit. And you'll notice that it's definitely starting to stick to the walls a little bit. And so that's what we've got this trusty little spatula here for. We're gonna take this, we're gonna scrape all the sides of this bowl. We're gonna get everything nice and broken up. And we're trying to get perfect frosting going from this. So we're gonna throw our spatula back down, and we're gonna get this starting to mix up again. I'm gonna start going with a little bit more sugar. Should be about 1/4 of this packet left when we finish up with it. We're just kind of eyeballing everything. You can see I'm making a little bit of a mess, but hey, that's alright. So now that I've got everything ready and set up to finish plating and presenting this cupcake, we're gonna start with the nice little star tip frosting. Nice little circle of this going. We're gonna start at one edge and ignore how shaky my hands are. I have problems and I have not slept. But we're gonna get a nice little spiral going with this. Try to keep those lines intact. And at the end, you wanna just keep the spiral and try and get a little bit of height with that. It's a little bit crooked, you know, as we say it on Big Whisks. Where there's a whisk, there's a way, merch in the description. All right, we're gonna take a small pinch of the zest. You want to sprinkle it from a little bit high up so you get a little bit more of that disparity with the fresh zest. A little bit more just to really make sure that lemon flavor pops. Got a nice little disparity with each bite. All right, and last but not least, we're going to take just a few of these little strawberry pieces and we're going to kind of just layer these right on top. We're going to get a nice little circle pattern going with these. We're gonna finish that last one standing vertically, leaning right against